My name is Sister Darlene Kawulok. I'm a sister of St. Joseph of Carondelet. I work here at Mount St. Mary's College. I'm chair of the Religious Studies Department, and I also am a faculty member. I was born and raised in Prescott, Arizona. I am an only child. My mother and father are both native Arizonans. And I was raised in Prescott. I went to Sacred Heart School, which is where I first met the Sisters of St. Joseph. And I went to Prescott High School and Northern Arizona University, where I received a baccalaureate degree in elementary and special education. And then taught for a year. I entered the Sisters of St. Joseph in 1976. And moved here to Los Angeles. And I've been a Sister of St. Joseph for 36 years.
When did you realize you had a calling?
A vocation?
Yes.
Well, let's see. Probably when I was about, maybe about 11 or 12 years old. I realized that the sisters were very, very happy women. And they did good things for people. They treated people equally. For my family, that was very important because both of my parents were blue-collar workers. They were not white-collar workers. And when I went into high school, I led a pretty normal high school existence. Sports.
What sports?
Oh, let's see. I played volleyball, basketball, softball. And into college, I played collegiate volleyball and collegiate softball and badminton. I shifted over to badminton.
What led you to the path of a religious life?
I think it was the women religious that I saw. And it was also a sense of wanting to give my life to the people of God. I didn't feel like I was called to have a family or to love someone exclusively.
Were your parents religious?
No. In fact, my parents were not happy that I entered. They obviously, being the only child, they had grandchildren on their minds and family and all of that kind of thing. So that was a great disappointment for them. But I can truly say that all my parents really wanted me to do was be happy.
Why did you choose specifically to become a Sister of St. Joseph?
I think because sisters were down to earth, and they were real, and they weren't, what do I want to say? They weren't plastic, you know. I chose to become a teacher because that's what I imagined myself to be. I can remember when I was small, I would stuff all my stuffed animals on the bed in rows. And I remember I had a set of books that my mother had purchased for me. And they were all about children, and they had the pictures of children on them. So I would put those in the rows too. And I would stand at the foot of the bed and I would pretend that I was the teacher. And I would teach. I had a chalkboard and I would teach, and I would, do all sorts of wonderful things. So even at that very early age, I realized that that's really what I liked to do. But the reason why I stay in education is because I do feel for two things. One is I do feel that I can establish relationship with my students. And number two, I hope that I call the best out of them. My favorite part of being part of the Mount are the students. That's the only reason why I think sometimes I get up in the morning. But I have a wonderful faculty too. I've got the religious studies faculty they're dynamic, and they're wonderful, and every one of them is a team player, and we're so diverse, but we get along. And so coming to work is really nice. But my whole world changes when I get in the classroom. If I wasn't a CSJ, what would I be? Isn't that funny? Because I can't think of anything. Because it's so much a part of me. It's not something like Superman where I jump into a phone booth and put on, the CSJ. It's my life. And the Sisters of St. Joseph have made me the woman that I am today.